It's amazing in listening to you talk. So many times when I read something about you, or even like talking to someone like Pat Connaughton about you, the word loyalty always comes up,
Yeah.
and you can see that you just like live that out in your life and everything that you do. It's actually pretty wild.
Yeah, man. I mean, I feel like the route the route that I had to get here makes it easy for me to just stay that way. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't when I committed to Weber State, it was time for me to go to school. And I was just like, I was like, I don't know if I really want to go to Utah. So I told my dad, like, man, I think I'd rather just go to St. Mary's and just stay at home. My dad was like, you told them you going. And that was the end of the discussion. After my second year at Weber, I was MVP. When I told you I went to Adidas and all that, a couple schools started trying to go around my school to get me to transfer. A few bigger schools, and I never really wanted to do it, but I mentioned it to my dad, and he'd be like, "No, we like that's out. Give them my phone number. Like we not doing that. If an agent, if any agents call you while you in school and all that, give them my number." Like my dad, I think it's like the route in my upbringing, man. You don't anything other than loyalty ain't worth it. If it calls you to go against who you are or what you believe or what you about, then it ain't worth it.
Did you feel like basketball wise you had a chip on your shoulder because you weren't getting recruited as much and you were someone who you sort of didn't have the flashy basketball life until you got drafted?
I think that yeah, I would definitely say I had always had a chip on my shoulder. Um, and I mean, it wasn't. I wouldn't even say it was just because I wasn't getting a scholarship. It was like even in Oakland, we had like guys that were my age that was from the Bay Area that I thought I was better than, and they was going to Arizona and Arizona State and all these big schools, and I'm like, if they from the same place as I am, and I think I'm better than them, why are they going to these schools and I ain't heard nothing from these schools? You know what I'm saying? Like it was, and I think that was the beginning of that. Um, it wasn't even about at that point. It wasn't even about just the scholarship itself. It was like, how is this? How is this possible? Like, what am I doing wrong? So
Did you ever think that it would be this good? That you would be this good? Like where you would have
I had
a
no idea, bro.
signature shoe, a super max, a franchise
Bro,
player, first team all NBA. I mean, it's wild. The journey is
I
wild.
It's wild, man, because I'm a person that I have no self-doubt. I don't doubt myself. That if it's one thing I know I can stand on is I know that I have real confidence. Like even in the bad moment or good moments, I know I got real confidence and I know I don't doubt myself. And I didn't think this is not what I saw happening, bro. Like I could like when I entered the draft and even when I was working out for the draft with before I left school. So I finished the school year before I left. Like I entered the draft, but I was still like going to class because this is how much I didn't believe this was like a real thing. Like I was like, I know I'm entering the draft, but like I might have to go make a team, like so I signed with my agent, and my agent is like, you're gonna be a top 15 pick and you're gonna get a shoe deal and you're gonna do this and he's kind of just telling me all these things that he sees for me happening, which all happened. Like everything happened. But at the time I was just like, that's not what I came from. So I just can't wrap my head around the fact that he's telling me all this stuff is gonna happen. And then I'm training with my coach and he's telling me, Dame, you gotta be the hardest worker and you gotta be coachable and you gotta listen. And when you get to the NBA, you might be in the G League for a few months and you might be on the bench for 2 years. Like this is the mentality that I'm coming in with. So like even after I got picked sixth in the draft, you know, my agent is like, all right, you about to get a, you know, few $1 million from Adidas. And they saying, you know, depending on how it go, you can get a signature shoe. And like, they saying all this stuff. And I'm going into training camp like, I literally went into training camp like it's possible that I'm not going to play. Like, because this is how clueless I am about this whole process. Like, I had no idea. So, I mean, that's how it was, man. Like, I didn't know.